What better way to get you in the Halloween spirit than stories of real hauntings from real haunted houses around the country? From a former Louisville sanatorium once occupied by tuberculosis victims to historical bed and breakfasts where spirits might wake you with a fright in the night, here's where to go to get seriously scared by ghosts, apparitions, poltergeists and more. Spooky old haunted house with a dead tree in the yard in rural Texas. McCraven House, Vicksburg, Mississippi. The most haunted house in Mississippi is this pre-Civil War Vicksburg home, whose multiple hauntings have been spotlighted on numerous television shows. Ghost hunts are regularly held at the McCraven House, and you can schedule ghost tours too. Among the many ghosts said to haunt the property are the apparition of Mary Elizabeth Howard, who died here in 1836 shortly after giving birth, and the ghost of John Bob, who was murdered by Union troops. A costume guide leads the roughly hour-long tours through the house, which is still decorated with period furniture to add to its eerie appeal. Monroe House, Hartford City, Indiana. More than a century old, this mysterious haunted house in Hartford City, Indiana, is often called the Demon House thanks to the terrifying hauntings said to occur here. Although the home's history is foggy, former tenants allegedly involved in occult rituals are said to be behind the hauntings. There are reports that human bones were once found in the basement, which is said to be the most haunted spot in the house. Even experienced ghost hunters have been scared out of their wits here during investigations. Neighbors regularly report seeing lights turn on inside when nobody is there and shadowy, smoky figures in the windows. Monroe House has also been featured on the TLC program Paranormal Lockdown. Magnolia Hotel, Seguin, Texas. The popular haunted tours at this old hotel in Seguin, Texas, are guaranteed to scare you silly for Halloween. Built in 1840, the Magnolia Hotel has a reputation for paranormal activity, reportedly the work of unseen forces. One of the more common sightings is a black mist that enters the room before morphing into a white, shadowy shape. The ghost of a Texas Ranger allegedly murdered by Comanches in the original log cabin on the premises is said to haunt the hotel, which was also once the home of an infamous Texas murderer. Waverly Hills Sanitorium, Louisville, Kentucky. The mere idea of a sanatorium is creepy enough, but visits to this haunted sanatorium in Louisville, Kentucky, are guaranteed to send shivers down your spine. Considered one of the most haunted places in the world, this former tuberculosis clinic saw so many deaths in the early 1900s that a special body chute was eventually installed to send corpses directly to the on-site crematorium. Ghost hunters have reported many unexplained hauntings in the building, including sightings of a man in a white coat in what once served as the kitchen and the smell of freshly baked bread when there is nobody cooking on site. The 5th floor, which used to house insane patients, is said to be the most haunted. Molly Brown House Museum, Denver, Colorado. One of the most famous haunted houses in Denver, the Molly Brown House Museum is open for history and ghost tours, where you might be lucky enough to hear phantom piano music, see chairs rocking on their own, or smell the smoke from a non-existent pipe emanating from the attic or basement. The ghosts of the house's former owners, the philanthropist Molly Brown and her husband, J.J., are said to roam the premises along with that of Molly's mother, whose wispy apparition has been spotted peering from a bedroom window. Details for the home: Haymarket, Virginia. Located in Haymarket, Virginia, this cute gift shop specializes in home accessories and is said to be haunted by the ghost of a Civil War colonel. Countless eerie tales have been told by both visitors and former residents. Built in the late 1880s, the charming yellow house sits on the site of a former Civil War nursing station. Among the ghost stories you'll hear are reports of the smell of a fireplace blazing in the middle of summer, and one employee claims that a force tried to push her down the stairs. She promptly quit. Come shop for something fun and see if you can sense the presence of any spirits too. Weems Botts Museum, Dumfries, Virginia. one of the most haunted places in Virginia. This historical former residence, built in the mid-1700s and now serving as a museum, is located in the state's oldest chartered town. The paranormal activity reported here includes sightings of the ghosts of Civil War soldiers that allegedly haunt nearby cemeteries. Ghost hunters regularly stop by the museum and have reported hearing the voice of a little girl said to haunt the home. Visitors can sign up for ghostly lock-ins, which let you spend a night in the museum for the possibility of encountering spirits. You might see books move across shelves, curtains flutter mysteriously, or an antique doll that shows up in different places around the parlor. Hinsdale House, Hinsdale, New York. Mysterious levitating objects and ghostly hauntings are just a few of the scary occurrences at this haunted house, located in a wooded area of New York. In the 1970s, a family living here reported several terrifying hauntings, and it is even said they had an exorcism performed before leaving the property for good. The family also claimed they heard chanting from the surrounding woods and saw strange faces peering in through the windows, faces that were not really there. If you're brave enough, check out one of the year-round ghost tours on the property. Farnsworth House in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Guests at this allegedly haunted bed and breakfast in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, have reported being woken up on the middle of the night by mysterious spirits. In the 1800s, the house sheltered Confederate sharpshooters, including one who allegedly shot a civilian by accident. More than 100 bullet holes can still be seen in the walls. Paranormal nights, tours and other events are regularly held at the house, which dates back to 1810 and is considered one of the most haunted locations in the USA. Jonathan Hager House, Hagerstown, Maryland. Once the home of the founder of Hagerstown, Maryland, this pre-Revolutionary War property dates back to 1739 and is said to be haunted by several spirits. A tall, shadowy ghost wearing a top hat is often spotted patrolling the outside perimeter of the house, with quick, loud footsteps announcing his presence. An old woman's ghost has also been seen in a rocking chair on the porch. Costumed reenactors who lead tours of the house have also reported having their apron strings tugged by unseen children, perhaps the spirits of a family of 20 who lived here during the Civil War. James Brice House, Annapolis, Maryland. Built in Annapolis in 1774, this Georgian mansion hosts historical haunted tours that are guaranteed to give you goosebumps. A beautiful example of preserved colonial-era architecture, the house was largely constructed by slaves and indentured servants. It is considered the most haunted building of the Baltimore area. Among the spirits reportedly spotted here is the home's former owner, Revolutionary War soldier named James Brice, who is said to haunt the basement and one of the bedrooms. The ghost of Brice's son, Thomas, who was found stabbed to death by a fire poker in the home's library, is also rumored to wander the house. Puccini Restaurant, Cumberland, Maryland. This haunted house-turned-restaurant in Cumberland, Maryland, was once a farmer's home and the site of a Civil War battle. The farmer who lived here used the home as a temporary hospital for wounded Union and Confederate soldiers. Some of these patients' etchings can still be seen on the walls of the restaurant's third floor. Both restaurant-goers and staff members have reported odd occurrences, including chairs moving across the upstairs floor, bottles flying off shelves, and a sink that turns on by itself. Ghost hunters have investigated the restaurant and determined that the spirits are friendly. Lotz House Museum, Franklin, Tennessee. This former private home, built in 1858, was at the epicenter of the 1864 Battle of Franklin and is riddled with Civil War tales of tragedy, ghostly hauntings and death. The ghost of a little girl is often seen peering from one of the windows, as well as the ghost of a woman crying for a lost loved one. Visitors also report hearing the sounds of drums beating out a battle tune. The Travel Channel even named the house the second most terrifying place in America. Head out on a ghost tour and experience the spookiness for yourself. Inside the home, period furnishings add to the scary ambience. Bill's Townhouse, New York, New York. This century-old Midtown Manhattan haunted house was a private home and speakeasy before its current incarnation as a restaurant. The private third-floor dining room is said to be its most haunted and where you're most likely to get more than just a meal. Event staff have reported seeing a young female ghost in the women's restroom, and the same apparition is said to pull pranks in one of the fourth-floor offices. Lizzie Borden Bed and Breakfast Museum, Fall River, Massachusetts. This allegedly haunted bed and breakfast in Fall River, Massachusetts, was the site of a double-axe murder in 1892, when Lizzie Borden is said to have killed her parents with a hatchet. Lizzie was acquitted of the gruesome murders a year later, but no killer was ever named. Multiple spirits are said to haunt the premises, including the Borden parents and the cat that was found bludgeoned to death. Ghost hunters regularly come here to look for spirits, and visitors have claimed to have seen apparitions and lights or heard ghostly noises. You can book a tour of the premises or, if you dare, reserve an overnight stay at the bed and breakfast.